Yeah,
we can talk a little bit about Sommelier. I think it's very interesting. Like we talked a little bit about it last time with Jack, but now I have two of the co-founders here. So yeah, I think Real Yield APR went live.
Real Yield
right?
USD is doing well. We're at about 15. We're at 15 million TVL as of today.
Nice.
We're competitively LPing one of the most competitive market, like providing liquidity on one of the most competitive Uniswap markets. It's a real demonstration of that this technological architecture, it can be really powerful, can really get things done. And we're our sort of next thing that we have on the plate is we're working on a liquid staking derivative strategy.
Nice.
That I'm pretty excited about. We're actually also I was very impressed with the Axelar presentation in Denver at Interop. It was very compelling what Axelar put together in terms of the event. And we're looking pretty closely right now at Sommelier about making Axelar one of the mechanisms by which you can execute strategies over. Right now, you can only execute strategies over the Gravity Bridge, which just connects to Ethereum. We've been looking very close. We're definitely in R&D mode about whether or not we can support Axelar inside of Song.
There was also a Canto integration or something, right? Or like a vault of Canto, or I saw something.
No, we just launched, or the community more specifically launched a Som pair on Canto.
Okay, just a listing. Okay, interesting. But yeah, no, I'm definitely down to make the Sommelier deep dive at some point with you guys. But yeah, so you've been mostly been working on Sommelier and like
Sommelier, Noble. These have been kind of been top of my agenda. There's also, we're spinning up, I think with the sort of trying to bring the pieces of Atom 2.0 piecemeal into the hub, as all of these new liquid staking pieces are starting to come together. Stride is doing super well. Quicksilver is starting to move. With all of these pieces sort of coming together, we are I've been bringing like Lido, Stride, Quicksilver, Persistence. We're starting to work together about like what our plan is to get the liquid staking module out onto the Cosmos Hub, which I think is like a big piece of getting inflation down, frankly.
Mm. Yeah, it's currently at like 13% or something, right? It's quite high. Yeah. Do you know like what the plans are of Quicksilver? Because I think initially they were going to launch as a consumer chain, right?
Yeah. Right now they're still evaluating whether or not they want to be a consumer chain. I mean, Stride has done an extraordinary amount of dev work also on the becoming a consumer chain front, because it's not a trivial thing to go from being a sovereign chain to a consumer chain without breaking your IBC connections.
And really excited to see that.
And
that's what's going to enable Noble.
I started with this work with the informal team about this being like a thing that, and like started working on a design with them. The Stride team has like picked up that work, carried it forward, and now the informal team is kind of like bringing that around to like kind of the final stages, which is incredibly exciting. And I think really opens up, like, if that's successful, that's a huge demonstration of that, like, sovereign chains can come into replicated security without any sort of negative effects on product.
Yeah, it's also Comdex is also considering like what would be a chain that you say that makes a lot of sense for them to explore migrating, like an existing Cosmos app chain right now?
Other than the liquid staking providers, that's probably top of my mind about who will be who's going to migrate. Yeah, I mean, I
What
don't
about
know.
Gravity Bridge?
I think who should migrate is like, again, I don't have a full picture I don't have it. It doesn't entirely inherently like super make sense to me who's going to benefit, who's going to achieve the most product differentiation, etc., by using replicated security other than the liquid staking providers, and potentially like stablecoin issuers. But
Yeah, I was thinking
I
about
don't
it.
see Agoric doing it, for instance.
Yeah, because IST is already live on Agoric now. They're not gonna explore to become a consumer chain. What about the Gravity Bridge? Do you think that's a candidate?
I'd love to see that. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think what to do. Frankly, I think it'll be interesting to see both the experiment of like the Gravity Bridge and I think in the longer term Axelar both have this, securing much more like orders of magnitude more value than their TVL, and that their fee revenue can justify, and needing alternative sources of security is like one of the most challenging structures to secure, and one of the things that potentially makes the like sort of restaking technology most relevant. So yeah, I think Gravity coming on to is definitely something that needs to be explored. It would be, I mean, just to be clear, like a substantial lift for the validators. Like we talked about the lift for the validators of you talk about the lift of for the validators of Neutron and like all these other chains, which is going like, especially for the sort of bottom 20% of voting power is like already a lift, pretty significant lift in terms of costs. Gravity would also be a pretty intense chain to run.
Yeah.